contest is a first-round match in the United World Championship Tournament. Introducing first from Miami, Florida, weighing in at 239 pounds, Mr. No Days Off, Fred Rosser.
Fred Rosser making his way to the ring. Heard from him earlier on in the day. Great competitor coming off of a big win here at Primetime Live.
I think we know now, anytime we see this handsome face, you know what time it is. This tournament right here is made for me, and this tournament is built for me. I've done my thing as a tag team wrestler. I've done my thing as a group with the Nexus. Now it's time for Mr. No Days Off, the trailblazer, the pride-pounding showman, to do that all by himself and become the first United Wrestling World Champion.
Rosser sounding confident, and why wouldn't he be coming off of a triple threat victory over the Cowboy James Storm and Chris Masters? Epic contest here weeks ago on Primetime Live. First round tournament action coming your way.
Introducing his opponent from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 335 pounds, Erik Redbeard.
Blake, here's a guy that seems to be a guy right after your own heart. Just a big monster that could cause a variety of damage.
This is a big boy, man. I'm 6'4", 240, and this guy towers over me. He is a monster, and this is the kind of guy I'd imagine being born thousands of years ago and walking the battlefield with a bloody axe. He is a scary dude.
Yeah, he does look like he came here by time machine. And Erik Redbeard, you know, kind of a homage to Erik the Red, a Nordic explorer who was the first to settle in Greenland. And Erik Redbeard, when you look at his tattoos, I think very proud of that Nordic heritage.
Yeah, he wears it literally on his sleeves there of his arms. But man, even his music's just intimidating. This guy is a force of nature. Just look at him.
You can see the intensity in his eyes. He has not pulled his eyes off of Rosser since he stepped into the ring. Immediately upon that bell, he came charging out and tossed Fred out. Fred has his hands full with this big man and this matchup here tonight.
Redbeard just maintaining, you know, like you would maybe in a fight. You take the middle of the cage, middle of the octagon. That's what Redbeard was doing with the squared circle. Rosser has to jump just to get him in a side headlock. I mean, that tells you the size of this monstrosity of Redbeard. But holding on pugnaciously here is Fred Rosser.
Holding on for dear life. That's not gonna knock Redbeard down. He is standing tall, but Fred Rosser, no, not for lack of trying. He's doing everything he can to take Redbeard off his feet.
Out the back door, Redbeard put on the brakes, pace quickens, and the big man runs him over.
Rosser's doing a fantastic job of using his agility to not get grabbed and continue to move around Redbeard. Oh, big slam. But so as soon as he collided Redbeard, he hit the ground. Now Redbeard's got his hands on him, and he is doing some serious damage. Rosser has got to get out of this corner and prevent himself from staying attached to Redbeard, because it's going to be a long, painful night for him as long as Redbeard has his hands on.
Not where you want to be in the corner where the big man can tee off. Huge headbutt. And if it wasn't for the turnbuckles, I think Rosser would be flat on the canvas. Both of these guys original tournament competitors, but not in the match they were originally scheduled for. And that maybe changes their strategy. Redbeard was expecting to take on a man similar in his size and stature. Rosser was looking to take on a powerhouse and technician, fellow member of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now Rosser taking out the wheel. Sound strategy.
I think that's absolutely a sound strategy. And you mentioned that, you know, Redbeard was preparing for a much larger competitor. If you're Fred Rosser, I think you have to try and take advantage of that, because he looks like he may be going for that STF right now.
Sinking it in, he's got the big man horizontal. What body parts is this attacking here?
So he's attacking the left knee as well as the spine and the neck. Potentially, if he can get under the chin, you're also going to see a little bit of a choke in here. So this is a hybrid attack that's attacking several segments of the body. And essentially, as you see with these elbows, he's chopping down. He's beating his energy bar down to slowly start chopping this big man down. And if he keeps working on this knee and can keep Redbeard on his back, then that's how he's got to fight this fight.
Whole thing is, though, guys, when you're 6'8", doesn't take a whole lot to get to the ropes. And both of these guys, much like Dickinson, who advanced, vying to become the first ever, the inaugural United Wrestling Network World Champion. You know, both these guys held, and a big clothesline, down goes Rosser on the apron. Both these guys, interestingly enough, held tag team gold in the WWE. You know, Redbeard with Brody Lee. You had Rosser with the Primetime Players, but neither has been a world champion. They're well-traveled, they're world-class athletes, but this is a huge opportunity for them to hold world title belts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A time for both men to prove themselves as singles champions. That's what Fred Rosser was talking about before the match. Looks like he's seeing stars. Going back to the STF, Redbeard might just have been too big for Rosser to properly lock that in. And now Fred Rosser in the wrong part of town.
Here's the power blade. Nothing fancy, but very, very impactful. The body slam and the big splash. That's one of his favorites. Invading enemy territory there, and comes up with a near fall.
So one of the things about being as big as Erik Redbeard is, it doesn't always have to be pretty, but it's usually going to be effective. That big splash wasn't the prettiest thing, but man, you can see the way Rosser is holding his body. That's doing some serious damage. And if he stays in the corner eating shots like these, like I said earlier, it's going to be a long, rough night for him.
Tell you, Redbeard came in ready for war, though, James. This is his first match in about 8 months. So where Rosser has been active with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and of course right here on Primetime Live, our first shot seeing Redbeard back in action in quite some time, but certainly looks like he's been readying for battle.
Yeah, it losks like he just got let out of a cage. He is just hungry for a fight, and Fred Rosser is in a bad way in that corner. I don't like where this is going for Rosser. Able to avoid the impact, though. That probably saved the matchup for him and keeps his championship hopes alive.
Self-preservation. We saw the submission attempt earlier by Rosser. I wonder if we might see some more in the form of the cross-face chicken wing at some point. That was a move that he adopted from the legendary Bob Barker.
You know, before he's going to be able to work some of these submissions on the ground, he's got to get that big man on the ground, and that is going to be a big task.
Oh, look at that leg sweep. And earlier, the big shot in the corner, and another just when Rosser thought he had some light at the tunnel. There was a freight train coming this way. Here's the cover, and it's cliche, guys. I'm fluent in cliches, but when Redbeard hit the corner, the ring shifted. The ring moved.
Yeah, I mean, it is the rumbling of that Norse thunder in the ring when Redbeard is on the attack. And I'm just looking in the eyes of Fred Rosser when Redbeard is just assaulting him. It is fear. It is, what do I do to get out of this? How can I hang on? How can
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Of course, Redbeard will find a body part and take it home with him. And now the big shot to the back, into the cover. Close call, you're right. I mean, Peter Avalon gave Dickinson a heck of a fight in that opening round contest last week, utilized the chair, the equalizer, if you will, and came close. Oh man, look at this. Just driving that knuckle into the side of the head, into the temple region.
Man, it wouldn't surprise me if he pops his head like a pimple, man. He is squeezing that thing. You get him. Last time Fred Rosser opened his eyes, you could see his eyes popping out of his head a little bit. He's in some serious pain. And Redbeard's not going for a pin or anything. Oh, you want to stay alive for a little while? I'm going to make you pay for that. And that's what Redbeard is doing, is making Fred Rosser pay.
Vice-like action there with those two just enormous fists. Just crushing in from both sides. Rosser lucky. Oh, but I don't know if I would do that. I don't think I'd headbutt the big man.
He's desperate for anything to get out. That was like two blacksmith's hammers on either side of his head there. Rosser's lucky to still be in this matchup, but he's making progress now. He is standing tall. That is one thing about Fred Rosser. He doesn't know the word quit. He's going to keep fighting until his last breath.
What acceleration by the big man. Agility on display, and flattens Rosser with the crossbody. Incredible acceleration.
Incredible collision there. Rosser was going full speed at him, and Erik Redbeard charged back at him, and that collision they had in the middle of the ring. I'd like to see Erik Redbeard go for a pin right now. Rosser's hurt.
Well, Redbeard knows it, and Redbeard looks like he's measuring Rosser for something here, James. He's getting the distance that he wants. We've seen the agility out of the big man in the kick in the past. Loves that big standing, spinning kick. And look at there, you see it again. Just absolutely waylaid him with that crossbody. Nasty shot. Back to live action, you can see there that the big man now in trouble on the outside. Rosser has found a way to continue to survive in this thing.
He bought himself a little window of time to be able to recover a little bit. He just jumped out of the way of that. Erik Redbeard threw himself out on the floor, hit the corner post, and now Rosser's got a minute to get his composure. And if he can catch Redbeard slipping as he gets in the ring right here, he could start taking advantage.
The attack again, and you mentioned that 8-month layoff. Maybe the timing of Redbeard a little bit off to Rosser's benefit.
Nice drop kick there on the apron by Fred Rosser, taking on an absolute powerhouse. But Rosser with the leg drop on the outside from the apron. And Rosser, as we know, powered by pride, and he's having to dig down deep. This is an absolute war in the quarterfinals of the United Wrestling Network World Title Tourney.
You can tell Rosser's in a bad spot because he's digging deep and he's starting to take big gamble moves. That was a big leg drop off the apron. Had that not paid off for him, it could have been the...
We're up to 7 here. If both these guys are counted out, then I think Dickinson would get a bye. All the way to the finals, and that would be bad news for whoever's on the other side of the bracket, but breaking the plane at the last split second, and this match continues.
Yeah, man, a bye in the next round would have really given Dickinson a ton of time to recover for that.
Look at that Herculean strength here. Drops the big man down. All that body weight, all the gravity, just slamming into the apron. What impact.
Hardest part of the ring, and to Blake's point, Fred Rosser throwing everything he can ready to recover.
Yeah, Rosser's putting it all on the line. Whatever he's got to do, whether it's his body on the line, picking up this big man, diving off the apron. Rosser's doing these big high-risk moves because he needs this payoff. He wants to become a world champion here on the United Wrestling Network.
Two stars of the wrestling world, two powerhouses colliding. And they've come to the doorstep of Primetime Live. Now that big claw. You've seen him put people away, but breaking down the hands there and throwing bombs to try and get the heck out of harm's way. He lifts up the ball. There it is.
More thunder from Redbeard. Kutzfeld trying to sit outside slam. That's got to be it. Cover. 2.
No!
Wow.
Rosser finds a way, digs down deep, kicks out again.
3.
I cannot believe that he kicked out of that. Did you see that spinning hook kick followed by that massive slam?
I can't believe it, but now he's got his wasted time here arguing with the official. He can hit Rosser with something else, and now shoving the official. You can't do that. Oh my gosh, you're right though. What a flurry of, oh no.
He's waving it.
Oh, he has no choice.
Oh, he's going after the ref now.
You pushed me down.
I don't think anybody's safe, and we better not talk too loud either. He'll come over here and blame us.
Listen, no one was more stunned that Rosser was able to kick out and stay in this match than we were, but you can't put your hands on the official like that. Redbeard, he is wild.
Justin Borden better run for his life. All right, let's say.
What's my name? You know it? Then you're being impartial.
All right, we are just going to toe the line. It wasn't us, I can tell you that. We did not hire the official, we are calling it down the middle. But you know, you're right. That spin kick, the big slam, I thought it was going to be it. And then, guys, he put his hands on the official, and now he's not done. And there's no official to do anything about it because he ran off, and who could blame him? And Redbeard just causing all kinds of destruction and mayhem.
This is unreal. I mean, the only person who's probably enjoying this besides Redbeard is Dickinson, because Dickinson knows his opponent now is going to be as beat up as he is going into that quarterfinal.
If not more so, somebody's got to get a hold of this. Redbeard, devastation to Fred Rosser.
Goes first into the ramp. He's on a rampage. He's on an absolute rampage as Redbeard now. We're told that officials in the back are refusing to come out here. There's no way you're going to stop this guy on this rampage. And now using a chair, and you're right. You know, Rosser's scheduled now to move on to the semis to face Dickinson, but I disagree with one thing. I don't think Dickinson would like this. Dickinson is always about wanting competition.
I actually agree with you 100% on that. Dickinson wants the best all the time. So I actually agree with you. I take that back.
He doesn't want Redbeard to serve him up. And look at this red light on Redbeard. He doesn't want Redbeard to serve up Rosser on a silver platter in the semis. Oh my God! Somebody's got to stop this, Blake.
This is only going to end when Redbeard says it's over. I feel awful for Rosser as he's just being torn apart by this man from the north. Again, like he was let out of a cage.
Oh, now he's got the chair again. The arm was pinned. Steel sandwiching bone shattered.
How many alternates do we have? I don't know if Fred Rosser's going to be able to have another match in a week or two.
And there you see Redbeard very happy with the fruits of his labor here in warfare. I guess all's fair in love and war, gentlemen. Wow. Yeah, break. I don't know if it was about victory
winner
or
of the match by disqualification and advancing to the semifinals of the tournament, Fred Rosser.
I think Rosser just wanted to come here and pillage and plunder.
Yeah, Redbeard did absolutely that. You know, it wasn't Fred Rosser who put his hand on the official. Fred Rosser didn't do this. Fred Rosser showed all the heart in the world. He is moving on. Again, whatever is left of him, that was just an absolute just melee following the matchup there. Rosser looking like he is going to be headed for some medical attention as opposed to the next round of this tournament. You hate to see it. Ugh.